Welcome to the Fictional Focus. I'm Nick, and this is New Games I Like to Play video. I'm supposed to be doing a Marvel Multiverse Rules video, but I'm still working on that, so we'll get back to that eventually. But this week I wanted to talk about the One Piece card game. Came out like a year ago, and yeah, I think the year anniversary is right around now, actually. And the beginning of last year, I was super excited for it. I was like, they announced it, and I was all, woo, I can't wait. And it's going to be awesome. I'm going to get a bunch of the starter decks and play and everything. And then I kind of forgot about it because it didn't come out for like another 6 months and then life. But I'm on it now. So I have two of the starter decks, number 8, number 9, Yamato and Luffy. A couple of the earlier ones I'd like to get, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. So we're just going to talk about the game for the most part and show off specifically the Luffy deck of the starter. So the game itself, it's a trading card game like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, sort of thing. And the rules are pretty simple. Each of the starter decks comes with a leader card, Dawn cards, 10 Dawn cards, and a 50 card deck. It also comes with, which is really nice, this little rules flowchart. Basically shows you breakdown of how the turn goes, what you do, then you start the turn and then you do this and that, and flowchart. And like a simple little thing here that explains the different types of cards. There are character cards, event cards, and stage cards, different stuff like that. And then on the other side, it's a little playmat. Shows you put the leader card there, your stage card, your deck, trash, cost area, and so on and so forth, and a little breakdown of the turn order, like what you do during your turn, like the phases of the turn. So mentioned there, and then also there's a leader card. So the leader card for the Luffy deck is Luffy. There we go. Focus on him. Is Luffy. 5,000 power. He has 5 life, which is how many times he needs to get hit. You lose all your life cards, and then he gets to get hit again, and then you lose. And then he has an ability there. I'll zoom in on that. Yeah. Your turn, when a character is KO'd, give up to 1 rested Dawn card to this leader. Now, Dawn cards are this. There we go. These guys. It says, your turn plus 1,000. Because when you give this to a leader or a character card, during that your turn, they get plus 1,000. So then he has a special ability that can give him extra Dawn cards. So he's holographic. Ooh. So you get Dawn cards. You draw from your deck. You draw from your Dawn deck because it's a separate little deck. Each turn you draw from your Dawn deck to get more Dawn cards. Basically energy, like gives you more power to do stuff. It goes in your cost area. And there are a lot of cards that have effects. I think there we go. They're on the rules. Dawn ×1, Dawn -1. As in, if the card has 1 or more Dawn, they can do this ability, or you have to take a Dawn card off of the card in order to do this ability. Now, event cards are basically like kind of like magic cards in Yu-Gi-Oh, I guess you could say. And they have like I don't know if they necessarily all have the yellow border like that, but they will say event right there. Say event card, and then the leader card says leader, and then the character card, which this one's also Luffy, says character, which that means that characters go in the deck, events go in the deck, and the leaders by itself. But the event card you can play during your turn. You just have to pay the cost, which that's the cost, like with a character. In order to summon a character, you have to pay the cost with Dawn cards. And then all the event cards have different abilities that help with different stuff. It depends on, how the decks are or whatever. And then there's also a trigger effect. There we go. Trigger, draw 1 card. That means if it's one of your life cards, it's kind of like in Pokemon, how they have life cards, basically. I forgot what they're called in Pokemon. but they're basically like the life cards, except it's reversed. It's when you get hit, you take a life card. In Pokemon, it's when you destroy one of your opponent's Pokemon, you take a prize card. That's what it's called. Prize card. And this is life card. There's also stage cards, which this deck doesn't have any stage cards, but basically it's like fields in Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon, where you put it down, it stays there, and it has this special effect that typically has something to do with, like, it'll be like all straw hats, like like the straw hat deck. If you have, there's an app for the card game where it shows you the rules, and then you can kind of play a little bit, and you can play with the straw hat deck. And if you play with the straw hat deck, they have a stage card, which is, I remember it's either the Going Merry or it's 1,000 Sunny. I don't remember which one specifically. But anyway, it has an ability where you rest it, which is real quick. Active, rested. Simple. You can rest the card, which then when it's rested, it can't do anything anymore. Unless it has ability that says otherwise. You rest the card, and then it gives a straw hat, a specific card that is a straw hat, 1,000 power. Which they'll say on the bottom here, Straw Hat Pirate. Or Straw Hat Crew. And they all have different, like, affiliations, essentially. Like, here's Garb. He's Navy character, Monkey D. Garb. He has 7,000 power, but he cost 5. And now there's this thing on the side here, Counter. Kind of jumping all over the place, but it's whatever. Counter, just as I see them, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, that's a thing. Counter is when someone attacks you, there's a counter phase. Counter step. There's a block step and a counter step. The block step is for cards that have the blocker ability. I don't know if you can see that. It's for cards that have the blocker ability, and it allows you to rest them, and then they take the attack, which basically means they'll get KO'd. And then there's a counter step, where there are some cards that have counter abilities that let them do certain things. And then a lot of the cards, not all the cards, have on the side there the little counter plus 1,000. So you trash, this is in your hand, and during the counter step, you trash this, and then whatever card gets plus 1,000. To help them not either get KO'd or to stop your leader from being attacked. Because like in Yu-Gi-Oh! I think that's how Yu-Gi-Oh! Works. I don't even remember. It's been so long since I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Anyway, so when you're attacking, say I'm attacking this card with this card, this power needs to be the same or more. So since they're both 5,000, the attacker would win. But if this was 6,000, this was 5,000, you just wouldn't do anything. Nothing would happen. So it needs to be the same or more in order for the attacker to win. And that's the basic rules, essentially. You just keep drawing. You draw one card from your... I can't even tell. You draw one card from your deck, wherever it is, the deck, and you draw 2 cards from the Dawn deck every turn. And you just keep adding to your cost area until you have all 10. There's only 10 cost cards. But then, all kinds of cards have all kinds of different abilities. The Monkey D. Luffy deck is based around lowering the cost of your opponent's cards on the field and then using other cards' effects to destroy them. And then the Yamato deck is all about basically spending your life cards in order to do stuff, use abilities and like power up your cards. And then Yamato has an ability that get powered up when you have like 2 or lower life cards. And like all trading card games, they have booster packs that help supplement the decks. So like I've gotten a couple booster packs. So I've modded the Luffy deck a little bit. The goal is to eventually turn it into a CP9 deck. Oh, that's one thing we didn't talk about, the colors. That's kind of a big part of the game. There are 6 colors. You can tell by the little color wheel right here. So the Luffy deck is black. And the Yamato deck is yellow. And then there's red, blue, green, purple. And you can only, when you make your deck, you can only have cards in that deck that are the color of the leader, which this Luffy is black. So you can only have black cards in your deck. Now there are multicolored leaders. I don't think there's too many, but they're coming out with more. So it'd be like a blue and a green leader. So then your deck could have blue and green cards in it. And then each color kind of has a generalized what the play style is. So you can just look at the color of the deck and be like, oh, that's this typically this kind of play style. And then they mesh well together, sort of thing. And of course there's variations depending on because like I've seen some of the CP9 cards, they're more about trashing cards and then using other card abilities to pull them out of the trash. Like you look through your deck and you trash certain cards and use other cards to grab cards from your trash and play them and stuff instead of the lowering the cost and then destroying cards sort of thing. So that's basically it. I probably forgot something. I don't know. Figure it out. So, One Piece trading card game by Bandai Namco. It's really cool. It's really fun. I only just started playing it, but I really like it. Me and my friend played it over the weekend. I used the Luffy deck. He used the Yamato deck. I won a couple times. He won once. It was fun. It was good. I've gotten a couple booster packs. I've changed up the deck a little bit. I think it'll be better now. So you should check it out. Go get a starter deck. Buy 2 starter decks. I bought 2 starter decks. That way me and my friend could play. Buy 2 starter decks. Boom. You have everything you need to play. Yay. So yeah, that's basically it. Thanks for watching. Follow us on Instagram. Check out the podcast. Check out the other channel. It'll be somewhere. Check out the other channel for the podcast. And until next week, bye.